Now, I am sure that you'll remember my next guest. Marilyn Baldwin won our Inspirational Woman of the Year award back in 2013. Now, what had happened was her mother had been conned out of almost £50,000 by scammers using the postal service. Now, that led Marilyn to set up a campaign to protect the elderly and the vulnerable from the same thing happening to them. Well, since then, Marilyn has received an OBE for her work, and she's now released a short film to spread the warning about scams and get it out to even more people. Well, Marilyn joins us now. That film is perfect. It just sums it up perfectly, because these people know what they're doing. They're preying on elderly people, vulnerable people, and they're so plausible, aren't they? Because it's that thing of it's not on the internet, it's coming through their door, it's on a letter.
That's right, and they know exactly who they're going for. They're working from mailing lists that categorise people as being elderly, preferably living alone. And the psychology they use, Lorraine, is so powerful that when my mother was doing this and I picked up the odd letter and I think, why is she doing it? It's obvious that it's not genuine. Yeah. But it all knits together. It all makes sense to the victims. They've got fake lottery officials, they've got bankers, they've got solicitors. They've got a whole assortment of fictional characters that are knitting together and causing this delusional world. And it's just very, very difficult, in my mother's case, impossible to get them out of this world. And
it's really bad because they get completely enmeshed in this, don't they?
Oh,
and
yes.
They believe that if they're going to send this money off, that something is, it's all going to be fine. It's all going to be okay, that, you know, it's going to be wonderful and they can help people.
That's right.
That was the other thing, but your mum, she thought she could help people.
Oh, yes, she wasn't wanting this money for herself, but it's the sinister way that they work. Entwined in this mail, there's letters from clairvoyants, and they tell them that the family are against them. So eventually the criminals become, these fictional characters become the friends, and the family become the enemy.
So you're alienated.
Exactly. So no matter what you say, whatever I said to my mother, you know, it was these people were going against that, and they were in front of me by saying, family are going to be, they're questioning your mentality, because they were in front of us. You know, they knew that we were going to start doing that.
And it is that thing again about the written word, especially when people are older, because they will not trust the internet necessarily. And we know there's internet scams, but it's this thing of sending and knowing exactly what you're doing. How on earth can we... I know you're doing a brilliant job, and I know the movie's out. You've done this fantastic leaflet as well about watching out for scams. But how are they able to do this? You know, you would imagine that the full force of the law would come down on them.
Well, they're working from abroad. And they're using mailing addresses that aren't a physical building. They can't go and sort of, you know, approach a mailing
really
address.
Hard to get them.
Yeah, and the mail's being moved around by legitimate channels. So the victims could be sending their money, say, to a mailing address in Swansea. From there, it could end up anywhere in the world. It's being moved. So it's very difficult to get to the end of that line and catch the criminals. And they're moving about, and they're moving the way that they're directing the mail as well.
So really the focus is on trying to make sure that people aren't scammed. People can't do this because it's difficult to pin these. I suppose it's like nailing jelly to the wall, trying to get these vile people. But it's just so sad. What you're saying is, think Jessica. That's your mum. So this is all really in her name, so that other people, it doesn't happen to them.
That's right. The Think Jessica campaign was something I started shortly after my mother's death in 2007. It's now a registered charity, and the website, of course, is Think Jessica.
So if anybody watching is worried that this might have happened to a relative of theirs, elderly or otherwise, you know, if it's happened to them, what's the best thing to do, would you say?
Trading standards are now very on board with this. So through the Citizens Advice Consumer Helpline, you can contact Trading Standards, get one-to-one support. But the main focus is let's get out there and let's educate these people before the scammers get them. So it's all about, showing the film, getting the leaflets, getting the booklets, getting educated. So when they are targeted, and they will be, because over 55% of people over 65 plus are being targeted.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And it's growing. And we've got to remember as well, only 1 in 5 victims makes a report. So, you know, we're just talking the tip of the iceberg here.
Jeez.
So, yeah, when they get this kind of... Or they get these phone calls, it's not just about mail, it's about the phone calls as well. It's all entwined. They're giving everything out. They're giving all their information and their personal details out. They will recognise these things for what they are. Scams are all about shutting down the normal thought process, making people act quickly, just making them focus on what they're going to gain, the fictitious winning, but they're not focusing on what they're actually doing. And that's the psychology, the powerful psychology that these scammers are using.
Evil. absolutely evil. It really
Definitely.
is, Marilyn. More power to you for all the work that you're doing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I really, really do. And as you said, go into the website, you can
watch the film
and get a hold of that and talk to your relatives. Make sure you do that. Thank you.